Joseph Stalin is very clear that those who vote decide nothing, and that those who count the votes decides everything. So according to Joseph Stalin, in this country, you and me, we are the voters. So we decide nothing. And the people who decides everything is the IEBC. And that IEBC is not just IEBC. IEBC is created by a group of people, the system. And Oburu Odinga once captured the whole situation. Listening to Oburu Odinga briefly.
The stage, we are now making strategies for winning the election. We have won elections 3 times, but every time we win the elections, we are robbed of that victory. That victory is known to the whole country, but we never go to State House. Why have we not gone to State House when we have actually won the elections through votes? This is because there is something which we were missing. And that's something which we are missing is called system. Some people are saying system is not important, but system is very important. And now we are with Uhuru Kenyatta, who is holding the system. So if the system plus our votes, which are always more than the others, what else? What else do we need?
No, that's Oburu Odinga. So IEBC is likely to determine everything as far as the referendum is concerned and as far as the 2022 general election is concerned. And for those who've been following the politics of this country very closely, one thing is very clear. IEBC is being reorganized by President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. Last week, there was a series of activities and events which took place. The president appointed former commissioners of IEBC to some positions within the government. Consolata Nthaka was appointed, Margaret Mwachonya was appointed, and Paul Kurgat was appointed. Remember, in this country, we have 6 commissioners and their chairman. So in total, we have 7 commissioners. As we speak, we have 3 commissioners in office. Wafula Chebukati as the chairman, Professor Abdi Gulie, and Boya Mulu. The 3 are still in office. And Rosalyn Akombe took off from this country. So in short, out of the 7 commissioners, 3 are already sorted. 1 is outside the country, and 3 are in office. So basically what's happening is that the president is setting stage to reconstitute a new IEBC. And on Thursday, Parliament handed over President Uhuru Kenyatta and his elder brother Raila Odinga an open check. The president and his brother will now have full control of who will be appointed as commissioners to the IEBC. And that's why the deputy president was frustrated and he made this particular statement over the weekend.
Mimi watu wengi wanasumbuka na wanatuambia ya kwamba wanataka kufanya mambo ya IEBC na wanataka kuchagua commissioners wapya wa IEBC. Mimi nataka niseme hivi. Sisi hatuna shida na IEBC. Wachaguliwe wale wanachaguliwa kwa IEBC. Sisi tunajua kura inaamuliwa na wananchi pale kwa polling station. Kwa hivyo chairman anaweza kuwa mtu yoyote. Commissioner anaweza kuwa mtu yoyote. Na sisi tuko tayari. And we have confidence in the institutions of our nation. Kwa hivyo watu wasikuwe na wasiwasi. Nasikia wengine wanasema ati Ruto amechengwa kwa hiyo mambo ya IEBC. Mimi nataka niwaambie hivi. Hata wakitaka waweke Oburu Odinga awe chairman wa IEBC. Mimi sina shida. Mimi sina problem. kwa sababu mimi najua hawawezi kuamua, wananchi ndio wataamua. Ama mnasemaje?
No, this is what normally happens. There's normally the 7-member panel which appoints the commissioners. On Thursday, Parliament decided that out of those 7 members, 4 of them are going to be nominated by the Parliamentary Service Commission. And we all know the changes which were made in Parliament, where President Uhuru Kenyatta and his elder brother Raila Odinga took control of Parliament. So basically what's going to happen is that the 2 gentlemen are likely to nominate the 4 members to that 7-member panel. Once they do that, we are going to have only 3 members remaining. The Law Society of Kenya is going to nominate 1 member. And then the religious groups are going to nominate 2. So probably we are going to have a Christian and a Muslim. Or they'll have to agree because they are organized. So they'll have to agree and nominate 2 members. So in short, the 4 members will definitely take control of the entire process because the voting is normally by simple majority. And now I can understand why the allies of the deputy president were actually kicked out from some of the key parliamentary leadership positions sometimes back. But why is the IEBC formation so important? That's what I want us to look today. Because the deputy president has been sending mixed signals. He's been very clear that in this country, votes are never rigged. He said that in an interview, I think with Joe Gay sometimes back. But his allies have been making a lot of noise about Huduma number because they believe that Huduma number is being created as a strategy to rig the votes in 2022. And of course, anybody who has stayed in this country will agree that votes actually don't count in this country. What counts are the people who count the votes. So this is how IEBC has always helped the system win the elections. Number 1, they always bring the technology down. IEBC in the last election spent billions and billions and billions of shillings on information technology or on technology. In 2013, they did the same. In 2013 alone, on the election day, the entire system collapsed. So the system, because the system is actually supposed to be tamper-proof, it went down. So we ended up voting manually in 2013. So the question is, why were we even going for that technology if it was going to fail? So that's one of the strategies, because the elections in this country is supposed to be a very straightforward system. You go to the polling station, you check your name, then it's confirmed that you are a registered voter there. They take your biometric, which should give your names. Of course, you should actually confirm before going there. Then after that, you cast your vote. Then wait, then the vote will be counted at the polling station. Ideally, the results is supposed to be announced at the polling station. And then from there, it's supposed to be transmitted to the tallying center. It's just that simple. But it's also very complicated, going by the last general election. In the last election, what happened? You go to a polling station, you vote, and then these guys had different forms where the results were being tallied. So in areas where the ODM party did not have support, what happened was that most of their agents were not allowed. So the results were announced there. Of course, the results were announced. But they instructed media houses not to relay any results from the polling station. Ideally, that's what should have happened. So when you announce results, someone was supposed to record. But they said no. So what was being transmitted is not what was announced here. So basically what happens is that there's a chance that the system is actually brought down. Once it's down, then it gives now room for manipulation. And that's why the deputy president is worried. He's been part of this thing He's been part of the system. What he's doing outside there, the image is projecting, is just to tell his supporters to have heart. But the truth of the matter is that the deputy president is not comfortable with what's happening, because that's one area he can't control now. So that's number one. They bring down the system. Number two, how IEBC is always very important in rigging is that they inflate turnout and even the figures. If you look at 2007, we didn't have technology. In 2007, Tharaka Nithi registered the figures which were announced for Tharaka Nithi constituency, then it was not a county, was actually 90,000 votes. In real sense, the registered votes in Tharaka Nithi were not even 30,000. So they inflated figures. In the last election, what was happening was very simple. You go to Raila Odinga's stronghold, let's say Kisumu. You go to a polling station. What was happening is that Raila Odinga gets 340 votes, which is a good number, right? Then what happens is that the figures for Uhuru Kenyatta is inflated a bit, let's say by 10 or by 5. So the supporters of Raila Odinga will celebrate because Raila Odinga has won there. And then the figures for Raila Odinga is going to be reduced by, let's say, 5. So in that polling station alone, Raila Odinga has lost 15 votes because Uhuru has been inflated 10 votes, Raila deflated 5. You go to Jubilee strongholds, figures were being inflated. A place where Uhuru would get, let's say, 710, Uhuru would be given even 800 or 910, something like that. Raila Odinga, because he didn't have agents, even if he got 30, would be recorded as 10. This one, I'm talking of what was well documented and formed the basis for the nullification of the last general election. So IEBC is going to play a key role in case these guys are going to inflate figures. And again, even the turnout. Take, for example, places like Northeastern. We know those places, the turnout is always very low because the population there is low. I mean, people walk long distances to vote. But if these guys want to rig for you, what they do, they'll target those areas, increase the turnout. So if the turnout was going to be 50%, then it's increased to 30%. So the other 30, I mean, if it was supposed to be 50%, then it's increased to 80%. Then there's now that increment of 30. Now that increment of 30 is actually the inflated figure, which is now added to the person they want. And that's why the deputy president is much worried. So that's another strategy which they always use to rig out people. Number 3, and this was also found to be true, is that there were polling stations and streams which were fake, which were never gazetted. And that's why the deputy president during the last election was very confident that twende to hesabu kura, because he knew so well what these guys had done. In an ordinary circumstance, we have a polling station, and those polling stations, they always have streams, stream A, B, C, D. Very simple, well organized. So that if your name begins with the A, utapanga yo laini, B, upange yo laini, and a stream, I think it's not supposed to be more than 300 or 500. So it's always very easy to manage. But some polling stations have very many streams. So in ODM strongholds, some streams were missing, or they included streams which were not gazetted. So you go to sports ground, then there are those streams, the results are announced, which tallies, and then another stream, figure for another stream, which was not there, but only on the information system, on their KIMS. The Kenya KIMS, it was Kenya Integrated Electoral Management Systems, KIMS. It's only in existence there. So ultimately, Uhuru Kenyatta is given those votes. And in Raila Odinga's, in Uhuru Kenyatta's stronghold, what used to happen is that if we had, let's say, 20 streams, they'll include some 2 extra streams in those remote areas. So there's a way they know how to do it so smoothly without people raising eyebrows. Because one thing which is supposed to happen is that IBC is supposed to publish all the gazetted polling stations. But these ones will not be published. So NASA went to court, and indeed the court found out that there were some polling stations which were never gazetted, which means they were just created. So you need an IBC which you have full control over to allow such kind of rigging to take place. Without that, it can't actually take place. And number 4 is change of the results. IBC had a very elaborate system which was going to be tamper-proof. I am sure if Msando had not been killed, probably things would have been different. Msando had an idea that you go to a polling station, you vote, then the votes are counted in the presence of agents. Once those votes are counted, then what was supposed to happen was that the IBC was supposed to take a photo. So to say the results is now this, all agents have signed, so you take a photo, pop. You send it, then you click send, then it's populated on the system. And then the image is also automatically posted on the website. And once it's posted on the website, then the parties are also going to access the same photo of the results. That was collapsed, and it never happened after Msando. So what we witnessed was just a case where you vote here, the results are announced here, you are there, results are announced there, but what was being displayed on the screen is totally different thing. So I'm sure the stage is being set for the 2022 general election. But before 2022 general election, these guys are going to ensure that the referendum is going to pass. They are going to set up a new commission. And this new commission is going to deliver the results. Because I don't understand why President Uhuru Kenyatta rewarded the disgraced former commissioners with diplomatic appointments. I've never understood. Because these guys actually resigned. But they're now being rewarded. And someone was telling me that probably some of these guys were actually NIS guys who were just put into the system. I don't know how true that could be. But someone like Paul Kurgat was a highly respected diplomat. When he joined the IEBC, and by the time he was leaving, his image had been tainted. But let us wait and see. But the fact of the matter is that the deputy president, wherever he is a very worried man. He's worried about this IEBC. And that's why he was mentioning Oburu Odinga. Oburu Odinga cannot be appointed as the IEBC chairman. He cannot. If his allies had problems with Irene Olo, who was alleged to be Ida Odinga's maid, Ida Odinga's PA, being appointed as an envoy, as a diplomat, do you think they can easily accept Oburu Odinga as a commissioner with IBC? I don't think so. But let us wait and see. But the fact of the matter is that President Uhuru Kenyatta and his elder brother have actually outwitted the deputy president William Ruto in the race to control IBC. Moving forward, Uhuru and Raila are going to take charge and full control of IEBC. I don't know what you think. Let me know your thoughts on this particular matter. And if you're watching this video for the first time, please take a second or two and click subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. It's too hot again here in Kisumu. Especially after coming from Nairobi. It's too hot. Thank you guys, and please may you enjoy your day.